Good morning, dear friend. As the soft hush of dawn stretches across the sky, and the first golden light kisses the horizon, I invite you to pause with me in this sacred stillness. Morning is not just the start of another day. It is a threshold, a quiet space between what has been and what is yet to come. It is the hour when creation holds its breath, when the world is most silent and heaven seems just a little closer. The dew still clings to the grass, and in this gentle light, your soul is welcome just as it is, tired or tender, heavy or hopeful. Perhaps you woke up this morning with a heart that feels frayed. Maybe sleep did not bring rest, only a break from a restless mind. I think of someone right now, someone who has been carrying a weight that words can't quite describe. She smiles for her children, shows up for work, replies to messages, but somewhere inside, a quiet storm is brewing. The bills are stacking, a diagnosis just came in, a dream silently slipped away. She has prayed before, she has believed before, but the silence has lasted so long. She wonders if heaven still hears. Or maybe it is a man who used to stand strong, who once believed in purpose, in promise, in provision, but now stands in a hallway of waiting. He is not angry, just tired of pretending to be okay. Tired of asking and seeing nothing change. And yet, here he is, still listening, still searching, still hoping that maybe, just maybe, this morning holds something different. To you, and to anyone who has felt the ache of delay, the sting of disappointment, or the dull weight of surviving day to day, I want to say this. You are not forgotten, you are not invisible, and you are not beyond the reach of divine provision. There is a deeper rhythm to your life than the one your eyes can see, a story being written even in the silence, a preparation unfolding even in the waiting. What you call not enough may be the soil where more than enough is already taking root. This morning, we do not come with perfect faith. We come with honest hearts. We come not with polished answers, but with raw questions. We come not to perform, but to connect, because something sacred happens when a soul dares to whisper in the direction of God. Prayer is not a transaction. It is not a formula. It is a conversation with the one who shaped you, knows you, and still chooses you, even here. Especially here. So if you are tired, come. If you are uncertain, come. If you are grateful but hungry for more, come. There is room here for you. No need to pretend. No pressure to impress. Just bring yourself, as you are, into this moment. Let this morning be more than a routine. Let it be a real encounter, a return, a restoration, a reminder that faith is not a ladder you climb, it is a door you open. And prayer is the hand that turns the handle. As the morning light continues to rise, may your heart begin to open, not all at once, just enough to breathe again, just enough to hope again, just enough to say, I am here, and I am willing. You are not alone. You are seen, and you are deeply loved. Let us begin. Dear Heavenly Father, I come before you in the quiet of this morning, not with strength, not with clarity, but with honesty. I wake up carrying thoughts that followed me through the night, worries that never fully rested, and questions that feel heavier than yesterday. I am tired in ways that sleep does not fix. I admit that some days I no longer expect relief, only endurance. I have learned how to function while hurting, how to smile while fearing what tomorrow may bring. This morning, I bring that truth to you without hiding it. Father, there are places in my heart where hope has grown quiet. I have adjusted my expectations to protect myself from disappointment. I have told myself not to want too much, not to believe too boldly, not to ask for what feels out of reach. I confess that I have learned how to survive, but I have forgotten how to trust freely. I have mistaken silence for absence and waiting for rejection. Today, I lay that misunderstanding before you. You see what weighs on me before I speak it. You know the pressures I carry, the responsibilities that feel overwhelming, and the fears I rarely admit out loud. You know the moments when I wonder if I am falling behind, if I have missed my moment, if life will always feel this constrained. I bring you the exhaustion of trying to hold everything together on my own. I bring you the quiet grief of unmet expectations and unanswered prayers. Father, I acknowledge that I cannot heal myself from this place. I cannot manufacture peace or force confidence where it has been eroded. I need you to meet me here, in this raw and honest space. I need you to remind my soul that I am not defined by what I lack, by what I lost, or by what has not yet changed. I need you to speak into the parts of me that feel forgotten and gently call them back to life. This morning, I choose to stop pretending that I am stronger than I am. I stop minimizing my need for you. I stop convincing myself that asking less is safer. I bring you my full heart, even the parts that feel weak and uncertain. I ask you to see me not as I present myself to the world, but as I truly am in this moment. Father, I recognize that you are not intimidated by my doubt or offended by my questions. You are not distant when I struggle to believe. You are patient when my faith feels small. I ask you to draw near to me now, not because I have earned it, but because you are good. Let this moment become the beginning of renewal, even if it starts quietly. I surrender this morning to you. I surrender the heaviness I woke up with and the fear of what lies ahead. I surrender the habit of expecting too little from you and too much from myself. Teach my heart to rest again. Teach my spirit to breathe again. Let me feel your presence in this stillness, reminding me that this day is not another burden to survive, but an opportunity to trust you again. Lord, if I am honest, there are parts of me that have grown quiet not because I trust more, but because I expect less. I have stopped asking boldly. I have stopped believing that it is safe to knock on doors that once stayed closed. Somewhere along the way, I convinced myself that disappointment was easier to manage than delayed hope. But this morning, something inside me stirs again. Not loud, not certain, but present. A small nudge that maybe today is worth trying again. You know how long I have lived with questions tucked behind polite prayers. You know the way I whisper instead of declare, The way I hesitate even as I reach toward you. I tell myself to wait, to be patient, to not ask for too much. But deep down, I wonder if I stopped asking because I quietly assumed you had already said no. I wonder if I made peace with silence before I ever let my voice rise. But you are not a stranger to longing. You do not despise the sound of trembling faith. You do not grow weary of repeated prayers. So this morning, I choose to ask again, not with the confidence of knowing how, but with the courage to admit I still care, I still desire, I still hope. Father, I ask you to meet me in this moment, where risk feels wrapped inside every word I speak. I ask you to strengthen my voice, not to sound strong, but to be honest. I ask for clarity in the places where confusion has made it hard to see straight. I ask for peace where anxiety has kept me on edge. I ask for doors to open, not just any doors, but the ones you have prepared for me to walk through. I ask for more than just survival. I ask for joy again. I ask for wonder. I ask for the boldness to dream in color after years of living in gray. I ask not because I am entitled, but because I believe you are able. And more than that, because I believe you are willing. Help me release the fear that has wrapped itself around my asking. The fear that says if I speak it, I might break again. The fear that says if I name it, I will lose it. Take the sting out of silence. Remove the shame I have carried for wanting what has not yet come. Remind me that desire is not weakness. It is the echo of how you created me with longing for meaning, connection, and fullness. God, you are not irritated by repetition. You do not measure faith by how quickly I move on. You meet me in the places I return to again and again, not to scold, but to stay. So here I am again, not because I am stuck, but because I still believe this matters. I believe you are not finished. I believe you hear the quiet requests I have yet to say aloud. I ask for healing where pain has lasted longer than expected. I ask for provision where I no longer see a way forward. I ask for restoration where loss has left a deep mark. I ask for strength to believe again, not just in what you do, but in who you are. Let today be a turning point, not because everything changes, but because I choose to change the posture of my heart. Let this be the day I stop shrinking my requests to fit my fear. Let this be the day I dare to speak to you with the fullness of my longing. Let this be the day I stop rehearsing disappointment and start rehearsing trust. I ask you to touch the places in me that have gone numb. Let tears return where I have grown too used to holding everything in. Let hunger return where I settled for less. Let belief return where I once walked away too quietly. Lord, I ask not only for answers, but for your presence in the waiting. I ask not only for miracles, but for the awareness that you are near, even when the outcome is unclear. I ask that you would steady my steps as I walk forward, even when I do not see the full path. Today, I give myself permission to ask for what I need, not because I demand it, but because you invite me to. You told me to ask, to seek, to knock. Not once, not with caution, but with persistence. Not with a hardened heart, but with a hopeful one. So I asked, not out of desperation, but out of faith. Not out of entitlement, but out of relationship. You are not a distant provider. You are my Father. You are not withholding from me to test me. You are preparing something I am being shaped to carry. Let this day be marked by holy courage. Let it be marked by words I refuse to bury. Let it be marked by faith that trembled but still spoke. This morning, I stand in front of closed doors and choose to knock again. Not because I have all the answers, not because I am strong, but because deep down, I still believe you are listening, and that is enough to ask again. Father, it humbles me to think that while I have only just begun to ask, you have already been preparing, long before my words formed, long before I could even name what I needed. You were already at work. It calms something restless in me to know that I am not showing up late to my own story. You have not been waiting for me to speak so that you can begin. You have been building quietly in places I could not see, in ways I could not imagine. I realize now that so much of my fear has come from feeling behind. Behind in time, behind in progress, behind in provision. But you are not a God who rushes to catch up. You are a God who writes with foresight. You are the kind of God who plants seeds deep in the earth before I even feel the hunger rising. You water the soil before I feel the thirst. You orchestrate details I will never notice, so that when the moment arrives, everything is already in place. Lord, I often judge provision by what I can see. I measure your movement by outcomes that show up on my timeline. But this morning, I want to shift my vision. I want to trust that there is goodness unfolding behind the curtain of what I call silence. I want to believe that your timing is not just strategic, but kind. That what feels like delay is actually care. That what looks like nothing is often the beginning of something far greater than I thought to expect. Teach me to honor the unseen. Help me respect the roots that grow before the fruit appears. I confess that I have often dismissed what I could not measure. I have grown anxious in the space between promise and appearance. But now I see that the space is not empty. It is holy. It is where trust grows. It is where endurance is formed. It is where you do the deep work that lasts. You are not improvising solutions. You are not reacting to my panic. You are not pacing the floors of heaven, waiting for my emergency to alert you. You are steady. You are intentional. And you are already ahead of me. This changes everything. It changes the way I wait. It changes the way I pray. It changes the way I walk through today. Let me walk with the confidence of one who is not alone in the unknown. Let me face uncertainty with the quiet assurance that nothing surprises you. You are not scrambling. You are orchestrating. You are not stalled. You are preparing. Even when I see nothing shifting, you are shaping what I cannot yet carry. You are building foundations that can hold the weight of the answer. So I ask you now to open my heart to signs of your preparation. Let me notice the small alignments. Let me recognize the subtle encouragements. Let me be reminded that even the detours have purpose. Even the closed doors are part of the protection. Even the waiting is not a waste. Father, show me how you have been faithful, even the parts of my life I thought were forgotten. Remind me of the times you provided before I knew I needed anything. Bring to mind the moments where provision arrived disguised as interruption. where delays turned out to be deliverance, where the road that felt longer was actually leading me closer. And in places where I still do not understand, give me peace anyway. Give me the kind of peace does not depend on clarity. Let me sit in this moment and say, even if I cannot see it, I believe you are working. Let my trust not be tied to results, but rooted in your character. God, I release the demand to know everything in advance. I lay down the desire to control how and when you move. I do not want to miss the beauty of your preparation because I am too focused on the pressure of outcomes. I want to be present with you here. I want to lean into the rhythm of your grace. I want to stop running ahead and learn how to walk beside you, knowing that what I cannot see does not mean you are not near. Today, I surrender my timeline. I surrender the urge to measure my worth by progress. I surrender the anxiety that tells me I am too late. You are not bound by the clocks I watch. You are not restricted by the limits I set. You are a God of eternal wisdom, and your provision is not rushed. It arrives right on time, not just to meet a need, but to reveal your love, your care, and your perfect awareness of all that concerns me. Let this change the way I see the day ahead. Let me greet interruptions as possible answers. Let me welcome silence as an invitation to trust. Let me find comfort not in knowing the details, but in knowing you. Let this be the shift that loosens the grip of fear and makes space for faith to stretch. Because if you have already begun to prepare what I have only just started to ask for, then surely I am safe in your hands. You are the God who fills rivers before there is drought, the God who stores manna before the wilderness arrives, the God who opens paths and seas I did not even know I would cross. And for that, I praise you not just for what you will do, but for what you are already doing. Quietly, faithfully, lovingly, before I even knew to ask. God, if you have already been preparing what I have only just begun to hope for, then teach me now how to receive it. Stretch the borders of my heart to believe again. Not cautiously, not halfway, but fully. I do not want to carry small faith into the wide spaces you are opening. I do not want to hold on to old fears while you are writing new beginnings. What good is answered prayer if I am too guarded to embrace it, too hesitant to hold it, too afraid to believe it is truly mine? There are places within me that flinch when hope rises. I have lived with disappointment long enough to make it familiar, and somehow that familiarity has turned into comfort. But comfort rooted in fear is not peace, it is imprisonment. And I feel that now. I feel how tightly I have wrapped my expectations, how carefully I have managed my belief, always trying not to be let down. But it is not disappointment I need protection from. It is unbelief that slowly dulls my spirit and keeps me from seeing what you are doing. Father, I do not want to miss what you are trying to give, because I have trained my heart to expect less. I do not want to approach your presence with a measuring stick, trying to keep my hopes within safe limits. I want to learn again how to believe like a child, not because I understand, but because I trust. Not because it is logical, but because you are faithful. Let my faith grow not just deeper, but wider, wide enough to carry the abundance you are preparing. I ask you now to stretch me gently, but completely. Pull my heart out of old conclusions, out of stale logic, out of the boxes I built to feel safe. I ask you to tear down every small frame I have placed around possibility, not to leave me exposed, but to leave me free, free to hope again, free to dream again, free to receive what I stopped believing was possible. I confess that part of me still doubts, not because I think you are unkind, but because I think I am unqualified. I look at my past, my inconsistencies, my hesitations, and I assume they disqualify me from more. But you are not waiting for perfection to move. You are waiting for openness. You are not looking for flawless history. You are searching for surrendered hearts. So I give you mine again, even if it comes with trembling hands. I give you the part of me that still fears too much joy, the part that asks, what if this does not last? I give you the tension between belief and protection, between hope and habit, and I ask you to do what only you can: expand my capacity to trust without borders. Lord, I want to believe beyond what I have seen. I want to expect beyond what I have experienced. I want to stop projecting the past onto the future and start letting your promises reshape my perspective. You are not limited by what happened before. You are not bound by my patterns. You are the God who restores what was lost and multiplies what remains. Let that truth take root in me today. Show me where I have downsized your vision to fit my fear. Show me where I have stopped asking, not because I was content, but because I was tired. Speak into the places where faith has become cautious and revitalize them with courage. Let boldness rise, not arrogance, but holy confidence rooted in your nature. Let me stand not only on what I hope for, but on who you are. Remind me that belief is not a performance. It is a relationship. It is not about pretending to be strong. It is about choosing to trust even when I feel weak. It is saying yes when fear says no. It is staying open when the world teaches me to close. It is stepping forward even when I do not have all the answers. So here I am, stepping forward again. I open my heart to what I have not dared to ask for. I lean into the stretch, even if it feels unfamiliar. I say yes to what you are preparing, not because I see the full picture, but because I know your hand is behind it. I will not reject the new just because I grew used to the old. I will not sabotage the miracle by doubting I am worthy of it. Today, I choose to partner with your promises. I choose to believe that goodness is not just for others, but for me. I choose to release the thoughts that tell me to settle and embrace the ones that point me higher. I choose to trust that you are not teasing me with hope. You are teaching me to carry it well. Stretch me, Lord, until I can carry peace in uncertainty. Stretch me until joy feels natural again. Stretch me until gratitude becomes my default, not worry. Stretch me until faith becomes my instinct, not my afterthought. Do whatever you must to make room for what you want to do in and through me. Let this day mark the beginning of renewed belief. Let this be the moment when I stop pacing in circles of doubt and start walking toward what I know you can do. Not because I have proof, but because I have history with you. Because you have never failed me, even in the moments I did not understand your ways. because your preparation deserves my expectation. And if my heart wavers again, meet me there with gentleness. If my trust flickers, breathe on it with grace. Keep teaching me how to stay open. Keep shaping me into someone who believes without hesitation, who hopes without fear, who receives without shrinking back. You are not asking for a perfect heart. You are asking for a willing one. So here I am, willing to be stretched, willing to grow, willing to believe again. Father, as my heart begins to open wider and my faith learns to stretch again, I ask you to guide what comes next. I do not want what you give to stand alone without meaning. I do not want blessing without direction or provision without purpose. If you are preparing more than enough, then shape me to carry it well. I do not ask for increase so I can feel important or secure. I ask for it so my life may reflect your intention and not my impulse. I see now that abundance without wisdom can weigh heavier than lack. I have watched how good things can become distractions when the heart is unprepared. So before I ask for more in my hands, I ask for alignment within my soul. Teach me how to hold what you give without gripping it too tightly. Teach me how to receive without losing humility. I want what you place in my life to bring peace, not pressure. Lord, there have been times when I prayed for relief without asking who I was becoming in the process. I wanted answers more than formation. I wanted outcomes more than understanding. But now I see that your provision is never separate from your purpose. What you supply is connected to who you are shaping me to be. And I do not want to bypass that shaping just to arrive sooner. Search my heart and show me where my motives need refining. Show me where fear has disguised itself as desire. Show me where comparison has influenced my asking. I do not want to chase what looks impressive if it pulls me away from what is meaningful. I want to want what you want, even when it challenges my assumptions. God, I ask you to teach me the difference between accumulation and assignment. Not everything that looks like blessing is meant for me to keep. Some things are meant to pass through me. Some provisions are seeds, not rewards. Give me discernment so I do not confuse ownership with stewardship. Let me recognize the responsibility that comes with increase and welcome it rather than resist it. I ask for integrity to rise alongside opportunity. Let my character expand with my capacity. Let patience grow with momentum. Let my private life support what becomes visible. I do not want to build on fragile foundations. I want what you establish to last. Not because it is impressive, but because it is rooted. Father, protect me from receiving more than my heart can manage. Protect me from success that outpaces maturity. Protect me from gifts that eclipse gratitude. I trust you to know what I am ready for, even when my desires speak loudly. Teach me to trust your pacing, not just your power. If you open doors, teach me how to walk through them with humility. If you increase resources, teach me how to use them with wisdom. If you expand influence, teach me how to lead with gentleness. I do not want anything you give to pull me away from you. I want it to draw me closer, deepen my dependence, and strengthen my obedience. Lord, align my work with your purpose. Let what I invest my time and energy in reflect your values. Let my efforts be guided, not scattered. Let my productivity be meaningful, not frantic. Bless the work of my hands, but also bless the posture of my heart as I labor. I want to work from trust, not from fear of falling behind. I release the idea that provision is proof of worth. I release the belief that more means better. I release the pressure to measure my life against someone else's outcome. What you assign to me is enough for me. What you entrust to me is sufficient for my calling. Teach me contentment without complacency and ambition without anxiety. God, let my life be a place where provision and purpose meet in harmony, where what I receive strengthens what I give, where blessing does not end with me, but begins to move outward in ways I may never fully see. I want to be faithful not only when things are small, but when they grow. I want to remain grounded when circumstances shift. As this day unfolds, keep reminding me that you are not just providing for my needs, but shaping my direction. Keep my heart sensitive to your guidance. Keep my spirit willing to obey even when it costs comfort. Let every answer you give lead me deeper into trust, not farther into independence. I stand here open, not just asking for provision, but offering myself to the purpose behind it. Shape me, guide me, and prepare me to carry what you are bringing into my life with wisdom, gratitude, and steady faith. Lord, if what you give is meant to fulfill purpose and not just soothe momentary need, then teach me to move forward before I see the result. Teach me to walk in faith before the rain comes, before the clouds gather, before there is even a hint of what is being formed. Help me trust not only in the harvest, but in the planting, not only in provision, but in obedience. Not only when things bloom, but when the soil is still dry and quiet. I do not want to wait for confirmation to begin. I do not want to wait until the outcome is certain to take the first step. I want to live in a way that trusts your instruction more than my instinct. I want to act not because I feel brave, but because I believe you are true. I want to sow when the ground looks barren, speak when silence feels easier, move when fear says stand still. Let me be faithful with small things while trusting you for the unseen things. Father, I confess that I have sometimes delayed obedience because I wanted assurance first. I hesitated because I could not see where it would lead. I called it wisdom, but it was fear. I called it waiting, but it was worry. I now see that obedience is not about perfect conditions. It is about willingness. And so today, I ask you to strengthen my resolve to obey you even when the path feels uncertain, especially when it does. You are the God who told Noah to build a boat when there was no sign of flood. You told Abraham to leave his homeland without revealing the destination. You told Peter to step out of the boat while the waves still roared. You have never waited for calm waters to call someone forward. You call us in the tension, in the unknown, in the midst of risk. And somehow, you meet us there not always with answers, but always with presence. God, I want to trust you like that. I want to build when no one else understands. I want to plant when the season seems wrong. I want to speak when silence would be safer. I want to follow your whisper, even if it leads me where logic would never go. Let this kind of faith rise in me, not loud, not flashy, But anchored, let it be the quiet confidence that says, even if I do not see it yet, I will still move. Help me see obedience not as a burden, but as worship, not as pressure, but as alignment. Let my actions be shaped not by urgency, but by faith. Let my days be marked not by reaction, but by trust. Show me the next right step and give me the courage to take it without demanding to see the full map. Let me stop waiting for guarantees and start trusting your voice more than I trust my fears. Father, increase my appetite for action that comes from surrender. Let me wake up each morning asking not only what I need, but what you are asking of me. Let my prayers move from rescue to readiness. Let me live with open hands and a willing heart. Let me choose faith in motion over comfort in place. If there are things I am meant to build, let me begin with what I have. If there are people I am called to encourage, let me speak even if my voice shakes. If there are doors you are opening, let me walk through even if I do not know what waits on the other side. I do not want to stand at the edge of faith and wait for certainty. I want to walk with you through the fog and trust that clarity will come as I go. Remind me that the outcome is not my responsibility. Obedience is, the fruit is not mine to produce, but the planting is mine to do. The timeline is not mine to manage, but the trust is mine to carry. Free me from the pressure to make things happen. Lead me instead to the peace of knowing I am following your leading. Lord, show me how to honor the small beginnings. Help me celebrate quiet progress. Help me stay faithful when the results are invisible. Let me find joy in the work that feels unseen. A knowing that you never miss a single act of obedience. Let me give my best even when no one is watching. Even when no one claps, even when nothing seems to shift. I want to live like someone who believes rain will come, even when the sky is still blue. I want to prepare for answers, even before the questions feel resolved. I want to sow with joy even in dry seasons. Let my life reflect that kind of hope, not naive, but anchored, not impatient, but persistent. Let today be a day of movement. Let it be a day where I stop overthinking and start responding. Let it be a day where I say yes, even if I do not feel ready. Let it be a day where I choose trust, not only in my thoughts, but in my actions. Because faith is not just what I feel, it is how I follow. You are not waiting for perfection. You are looking for faithfulness. You are not measuring performance. You are watching for obedience. You are not impressed by plans. You are drawn to surrender. So I bring you mine. I bring you my incomplete faith, my hesitant steps, my fragile yes. I bring them all and ask you to breathe on them. Bless them, and lead me forward. If I fall, catch me. If I falter, steady me. If I doubt again, remind me gently. But above all, let me keep walking. Let me live like someone who believes the rain will fall. The harvest will come, and your promise is worth the planting. Even now, especially now. Father, if walking in obedience is the beginning of trust, then alignment is the path that keeps me steady when abundance arrives. I do not just want to move, I want to move in rhythm with you. I do not only want increase, I want to be prepared for it. I want what comes into my life to find a soul that is stable, surrendered, and rooted in your direction. I ask you now, align my steps with your wisdom. Let what is within me match what you are building around me. I realize now that overflow without order can undo what was meant to bless. It is not just the blessing that matters, but the readiness to carry it. I want to live in such a way that when your goodness pours out, it does not disrupt me, it deepens me. I want to be found trustworthy with what you release. I want the overflow to flow through a vessel that is prepared and at peace. Lord, show me where I have drifted out of alignment. Show me the subtle compromises, the overlooked patterns, the hurried decisions that have pulled me away from your best, not to shame me, but to bring me back into rhythm. You are not calling me to perfection, but to clarity, to walk in a way that reflects your priorities and not my pressure. Strip away every ambition that does not begin with you. Break down every structure I have built on anxiety instead of trust. Remove every attachment that keeps me tethered to what no longer serves your purpose for my life. I want to be light enough to move when you move, and grounded enough to stay when you say wait. I do not want to chase overflow while neglecting the discipline it requires to carry it well. God, help me build inner order. Help me steward my time, my thoughts, my conversations, my rest. Let nothing in me remain chaotic or divided. Let my inner world reflect the same peace I pray for on the outside. Teach me to stop seeking quick results and start seeking quiet consistency. Remind me that lasting fruit grows in steady places. If you are going to pour out blessing, I want to be the kind of person who can handle it without breaking. I want to receive it without pride and carry without panic. I want to use it without wasting it and share it without fear. Align my desires with your timing. Align my gifts with your glory. Align my plans with your pace. Sometimes, Lord, I have asked for more without considering what that more might require. I have prayed for open doors without examining if I am truly ready to walk through them. But now I want more than opportunity, I want capacity. More than expansion, I want endurance. I want to carry what you give without it crushing my character. If there are things you are still working out in me, I surrender to that process. If there are habits you are calling me to release, I open my hands. If there are attitudes that will limit what you want to do, I lay them down. If there are areas in my life where I have been distracted or double-minded, bring them into focus. I do not want to be half-aligned and half adrift. I want to be centered in you. Father, align my expectations. Let me not define success by comparison or popularity or applause. Let me define it by obedience, by peace, by faithfulness. Let me no longer measure my growth by speed, but by substance. Help me celebrate quiet progress. Help me stay rooted even when nothing external changes quickly. Align my relationships. Let the people closest to me be those who stir my heart toward truth. Let my words be guided, not reactive. Let my presence be one that brings peace, not pressure. Show me how to walk humbly with others, to serve without needing to be seen, to love without demanding anything in return. Let me be as steady in private as I appear in public. Align my decisions. When I feel uncertain, let my default be prayer. When I feel rushed, teach me to pause. When I feel overlooked, remind me that you see. When I feel stretched, show me how to rest. I do not want to be driven by fear of missing out. I want to be drawn by the peace of knowing I am exactly where you have placed me. Let my yes be full and my no be clear. Let my actions match my prayers. Let my motives be pure, my mind be sound, my steps be ordered. I do not want to visit alignment, I want to live in it. I want to wake up each day with my spirit set toward you, my ears open to your voice, and my heart ready to respond. Lord, when the overflow comes, let it find a life already positioned for purpose. Let it find boundaries already built by wisdom. Let it find values already formed in secret. Let it find me already faithful with little, so that much will not undo what has been established. You are not holding back to punish me. You are waiting to pour out when I am ready to carry it. I ask you now to prepare me in ways I do not yet understand. Even if it feels hidden, even if it feels slow, even if it feels like pruning, let this be the sacred season where you anchor what will later be expanded. Let this be the chapter where quiet roots grow deep beneath the surface. Today, I resist the urge to rush forward. I resist the temptation to compare my journey. I resist the pressure to produce results without process. Instead, I ask you to align every part of me, my thoughts, my habits, my hopes, my goals with what you have destined for me. Let my life become a place where overflow does not overwhelm, but flows with clarity and purpose. You are not just the God of increase. You are the God of alignment. And in that alignment, I find peace. In that alignment, I find direction. In that alignment, I make space not only for what you give, but for who you are. Let my soul be ready, my heart be clean, and my life be positioned for what you long to pour out. Father, now that you are aligning my heart to carry what you are preparing, I ask you to go one step further. Do not let me hold what you give with closed fists. Let me never treat your blessings as possessions to protect, but as resources to release. Make me a channel, not a container. Make my life a pathway through which your goodness can flow, not a reservoir where it stagnates. I do not want to store up what was meant to move. I want to become someone who gives as freely as I have received. You have been so generous, even in the seasons when I was unaware. You have sustained me, provided for me, comforted me, and healed parts of me no one else even knew were hurting. But I know that what you pour into my life is not meant to stop with me. It is meant to multiply. It is meant to travel. It is meant to reach places I cannot go and people I may never meet. So I surrender the instinct to keep, and I ask you to shape in me the courage to release. Lord, if there is any fear within me, fear that I will run out, fear that there will not be enough for me, please dissolve it. I do not want to cling to blessings because I am afraid there won't be more. I want to trust that you are my source, not just a one-time giver. Let that trust loosen my grip. Let it open my heart to live generously, even when resources feel limited, even when energy feels low, even when love has been stretched. Teach me the kind of generosity that begins with presence, with listening, with kindness, with patience. Show me that giving is not always about wealth or words, but about willingness. Let me notice the moments when someone needs what I already have, whether that be time, encouragement, wisdom, or even just a calm spirit in the middle of chaos. Let me not overlook what I carry because I assume it is too small to matter. Father, remove every seed of selfishness that grows quietly in fear. Remove the mindset that tells me to secure myself before serving others. Replace it with faith that believes giving never diminishes, it deepens. The more I pour, the more you refill. The more I share, the more I realize how limitless you truly are. You are not looking for people who store blessings. You are looking for people who will steward them, send them, share them, and multiply them. Let me become that kind of person. Let generosity be a posture I live in, not a reaction I turn to only when it is convenient. Let me give without waiting to be asked. Let me give without calculating what I will get in return. Let me give with joy, not pressure. I want to be free from keeping score. I want to live like everything I have belongs to you anyway. God, show me where I have withheld. Show me the places where I stayed silent when I could have spoken life, where I held back encouragement because I was caught up in my own need, where I delayed a simple gesture because I overthought its significance. Teach me to be bold in compassion and quick in kindness. Let generosity become my reflex, not my exception. Shape in me a heart that sees beyond itself. Help me recognize when someone else's breakthrough might begin with my obedience. Let me be a safe place for others to rest, a calm voice in someone else's storm, a steady hand when another is slipping. Let my life carry the kind of peace that only comes from being continually poured into and poured out. Lord, I do not ask for abundance so I can build higher walls. I ask for it so I can build longer tables. I want my life to make space for others. I want the overflow to stretch not just across my plans, but across the needs of those around me. I want blessing to feel like belonging for someone else. I want what you entrust to me to become nourishment for more than just my house. Keep my spirit soft so I never grow numb to the needs of others. Keep my ears open to the silent cries around me. Let me notice without being prompted. Let me move without being praised. Let me love without needing to be noticed. Give me discernment to know when to give quietly and when to give boldly, and above all, let my giving always reflect you, not my ego, not my strategy, but your heart. God, I ask you to interrupt my routine if it means I will see someone I usually pass by. I ask you to stretch my boundaries if it means I will grow into someone more like you. I ask you to lead me into places where my comfort is no longer the goal, but compassion is. Let me be faithful with the extra, whether that is extra time, extra strength, extra joy, or extra hope. Let me not hoard what was meant to heal, if ever I start seeing blessings as status. Correct me, if ever I start giving only when it is visible. Humble me, if ever I begin to confuse being blessed with being superior. Bring me back to the simplicity of your grace. Remind me that I am no more deserving than the one next to me. That I am not better, I am simply entrusted, and trust demands action. So today, I ask you to make me a channel. Let your love pass through me in how I speak. Let your peace flow through me in how I respond. Let your joy echo through me in how I serve. Let my life be a current that carries your presence into the spaces that feel forgotten, not to impress, not to be praised, but to be faithful. You have poured into me so generously. Father, I want to reflect that same generosity in everything I do. Whether I have much or little, let my spirit remain open. Whether I am celebrated or unseen, let my heart stay steady. Whether I am weary or renewed, let me always be willing. This is the kind of overflow I long for, not one that ends with me, but one that moves through me and blesses those you love. Let me live as a vessel that does not just contain your goodness, but releases it freely and fully. Father, as I open my hands and allow what you give to move through me, I begin to see how deeply connected we truly are. My life does not stand alone. My provision does not exist in isolation. What you place in my care has the power to reach beyond my own story and touch the lives of others in ways I may never fully understand. And that realization humbles me. It reminds me that abundance in your hands is never random. It is intentional. It is relational. It is meant to strengthen more than one heart at a time. I see now that you do not bless me so I can stand apart, but so I can stand with others. You do not increase me so I can rise above, but so I can lift up. There are people around me who are weary, who are quietly struggling, who are carrying burdens heavier than they let on. Some are close to me, others pass by without a word, yet you see them all. And somehow, in your wisdom, you choose to use what flows through me to remind them they are not alone. Lord, teach me to recognize when I am meant to be an answer to someone else's prayer. Let me be attentive to moments that matter, even when they interrupt my plans. Let me understand that what feels small in my hands may be exactly what someone else needs to keep going. A word spoken at the right time, a presence that listens without judgment, a gesture of care that restores dignity. These are not accidents. They are invitations. Help me move beyond the idea that faith is something I live privately. Let my trust in you show up in how I treat others. Let my gratitude for what you have given me overflow into generosity that builds connection. I do not want to be spiritually rich, but emotionally distant. I do not want to be well provided for while remaining disengaged. Shape my heart to care deeply and act compassionately. Father, show me how abundance creates responsibility. Not pressure, responsibility to see, responsibility to respond, responsibility to remember that what I have received freely is meant to be shared freely. I ask you to remove any hesitation that tells me it is not my place to help. Remove the lie that says someone else will step in. Let me trust that when you stir my heart, you are already at work. Teach me how to give in ways that preserve dignity. Let my support never feel like superiority. Let my help never feel like obligation. I want to serve in a way that honors others as equals, not recipients. Let kindness be offered without conditions. Let generosity be extended without expectation. Let compassion be expressed without fear of being misunderstood. God, I lift before you those who are heavy with worry today. Those who are unsure how they will make it through another week. Those who feel unseen and unheard. I ask that you would reach them through willing hearts, including mine. Use me where you choose. Lead me where you desire. Interrupt me if necessary. I would rather be inconvenienced than indifferent. I recognize that strengthening others also strengthens me. When I participate in your care for the world, my faith grows deeper. My perspective widens. My heart becomes more anchored in what truly matters. I stop measuring my life by what I gain and start understanding it by what I give. This kind of abundance changes the way I see success. It shifts my focus from accumulation to impact. Lord, guard me from becoming selective in compassion. Do not let me give only when it is easy or familiar. Teach me to extend grace beyond comfort zones. Teach me to love beyond preference. Teach me to see people as you see them, not through the lens of convenience or similarity. Let my heart reflect your inclusiveness and your patience. If ever I grow tired of giving, renew my strength. If ever I feel overlooked, remind me that you see. If ever generosity feels costly, remind me of how freely you have given to me. Let my giving be fueled not by obligation, but by gratitude. Let it flow not from pressure, but from joy. Father, help me understand that abundance multiplies when it is shared, that community grows when care is mutual, that unity deepens when we carry one another's burdens. I do not want to walk this journey alone, nor do I want others to feel they must. Use my life to create spaces of safety, hope, and belonging. Let me be present when presence is needed. Let me be quiet when listening matters more than speaking. Let me be generous when withholding would be easier. Let me be brave enough to show up for others, even when I feel imperfect. You do not ask me to fix everything. You ask me to love faithfully. God, I thank you for trusting me with what you have given. I thank you for inviting me into the work of strengthening others. It is an honor I do not take lightly. Keep my heart tender. Keep my eyes open. Keep my spirit responsive. Let my life quietly reflect the truth that abundance in your kingdom is never meant to end with one person, but to ripple outward, bringing hope, restoring courage, and reminding many hearts that you are near as this day continues. Help me walk with awareness. Let me notice the moments you place before me. Let me respond with compassion shaped by wisdom. Let me live in such a way that others are strengthened not because of who I am, but because of who you are working through me. God, as I reflect on everything you have spoken through these quiet mornings, I feel something inside me begin to settle, not in resignation, but in reverence, not because all things are finished, but because something deeper has started. A new steadiness has taken root. A fresh perspective has formed. I no longer wake with the same questions pressing against my chest. They may still exist, but they no longer own me. Because now, I know where to bring them. This journey began in stillness, in honesty, in the kind of awareness that words can barely hold. I brought you the weight of unanswered prayers and the H of uncertainty. I asked questions I barely dared to whisper, but in that place, you met me not with immediate outcomes or guarantees, but with presence, with steady hands, with quiet reminders. And through each day that passed, you layered peace upon fear, clarity over confusion, and purpose beneath provision. Father, you did not just answer with blessing. You answered with shaping. You did not simply fill empty places. You expanded them. And now, I feel wider on the inside, not stretched thin, but stretched whole. I see how you slowly rebuilt my trust, how you removed the striving, how you taught me to ask again, to listen longer, to wait with my hands still open. And perhaps the most beautiful part of it all is that I do not need everything to be resolved to know that you are faithful. There is still much ahead. There are paths I cannot see clearly, people I have yet to encounter, needs I have not even named. But today, I carry a different kind of courage, one that is not rooted in perfect understanding, but in divine assurance, one that does not demand visibility, but rests in proximity. Because you are near, that alone changes how I begin my day. That alone reshapes how I move through uncertainty. Lord, I thank you for showing me that abundance is not a number, it is a posture. It is the awareness that I have enough when you are with me. That what overflows in my life is meant to move outward. That every provision is an invitation to participate in someone else's healing. That my life is not the destination of blessing, but a vessel of it. You have made that clear, not in loud moments, but in quiet ones where the soft voice of truth rises above the noise of fear. I now ask you, as I continue forward, to keep me awake to the sacredness of every day. Let me not rush past these moments as if they are ordinary. Let me carry the same tenderness that these prayers were birthed in. Let me speak with intention. Let me serve with stillness. Let me walk through familiar spaces with renewed vision. I do not want to forget the lessons planted in these mornings, just because life grows louder in the afternoon. If ever I return to striving, remind me how you carried me. If ever I feel empty again, remind me how you filled me. If ever I grow cold in compassion, remind me how you softened me. You have shown me what it means to live in rhythm with grace, to receive without guilt, to give without fear, and to trust without having to control. Father, I bless every person who has walked through this journey with me, whether they arrived with broken hearts or quiet questions. I ask that they feel the same nearness I have felt. I ask that their faith would be stirred in ways they did not expect. I pray they would see that healing does not always happen in lightning strikes, but often in slow sunrises, in ordinary hours, in consistent surrender. Let what has been spoken here take root in each heart. Let these words not simply be heard, but held. Let them be reminders in weary moments. Let them be courage on quiet nights. Let them be the soft echo that calls people back to truth when the world speaks too harshly. Let them be seeds that continue to grow long after the speaking has stopped. God, I thank you for being patient with us, for walking slowly when we could not run, for waiting as long as it took, for showing up when we barely knew how to ask, for whispering when shouting would have crushed us. You do not rush transformation. You honor the process. And now we know slow can be sacred too. So I close my eyes not with finality, but with expectancy. I take one more breath, not to finish, but to begin again with everything I have received, now living quietly within me. A new kind of hope, a deeper kind of strength, a faith that does not need all the answers to keep moving. The morning light stretches across the horizon now, soft and steady, no longer distant, but near, no longer imagined, but visible. A gentle wind moves through the trees. The day begins, and so do I, carrying the quiet flame of trust, step by step, into whatever comes next. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If these words have stirred your heart, if these prayers have become part of your own, I invite you to share your reflections below. Let us continue to encourage one another in the sacred practice of daily trust. And if this journey has blessed you, consider subscribing to the channel, sharing this with someone who needs a gentle word, and returning each morning to begin again in faith. Let us keep believing together, one sunrise at a time.